Our law and gospel for this week from the Healing the Blind Man, the man blind from birth from John chapter 9. What's the bad news, or what do we see we need to do? Well, we see in this lesson a man born blind with a terrible birth defect. Made his life very difficult, and that shows us that we all have broken bodies in one degree or another. Some bodies have tremendous things wrong with it, but even the best of bodies falls apart and our bodies are broken. Not the way that they were created by our God. We all need healing. We also see that we are prone to look down on others and blame them for their situation. The disciples in the story thought, whose fault is it? The Pharisees looked at a man born blind and said, well, you're steeped in sin. It's your own fault. It's really easy to think that everything that's good that happens to us is because we deserve it. And that's the wrong attitude. That's the wrong attitude. Finally, our hearts are sinful enough to reject the evidence of God in His Word. In the story this week, the Pharisees saw the healing, saw the power, saw what had happened, and still didn't want to believe that Jesus was the Messiah. He did something good, but they still didn't want to believe it. It wasn't because of lack of evidence that they didn't believe. It was their sinful stubbornness and pride. And that's how sinful we all are. We have that power by nature and an ego and pride by nature that can reject Jesus. That's all bad news. But the good news is that Jesus cares about our bodies now and fixes them in eternity. So we do have our broken bodies, and God does take care of us. He preserves us right here and right now, and hears our prayers and gets us through this world using others and using our bodies for healing and even using medicine and surgery and all those procedures. He takes care of our bodies now, but He ultimately fixes them completely in eternity by Jesus rising from the dead. So our bodies will eventually be like His glorious body. So we're not stuck in this broken body that just gets worse and worse and worse. Even if all reject us, Jesus accepts us through faith. The blind man was rejected by the Pharisees and a bunch of people and thrown out. But he found community and peace and family and healing and the truth with Jesus. So no matter what the world thinks of us and how alone and isolated we might be, we can know that Jesus loves us as shown by what He did on the cross. We are part of God's family. That's the good news. Let's summarize this story. Due to the sin in this world, our bodies are broken and will waste away. Jesus came to this world to save and restore us body and soul to the way He intended us to be at creation. This is our law and gospel.